Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and welcome back to The Fool's Apprentice. So, today I have Jackie, who is going to be doing the judgment card for my series, Tarot Card One, the Tarot One Card Study, which has been so amazing. Hey, Jackie, how are you doing?
Hiya, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm in a really good mood. I got up early. I went over the meaning of the card, my understanding of the card, like doing all the background stuff to get ready for today.
Good.
Can you introduce yourself to my subscribers, where you're from, any social media that you might have?
No problem. So my name is Jackie. I am in County Cork in Ireland, which is down the very south of Ireland. I have an Instagram tarot page called Jackie's Crystal Moon, and I also my absolute favorite is my YouTube channel, which is also Jackie's Crystal Moon. I have had the channel for maybe 5 years, five and a half years. But I've been doing lives only since last August. And I'm obsessed with YouTube.
Me too. That's what I do
Love
most
it.
of the time. I don't watch
Yeah.
Netflix, any of the subscribing channels that I have. Mostly it's YouTube. And I did have you on for my tarot chat series as well.
Yes,
So
that
anybody
was
that
great.
wants to know Jackie a little better, you can go back to that tarot chat that we had several months ago. So let's talk the judgment card.
Judgment.
So I have the Neil Rider Waite Smith. Which one do you have?
This one that I have, this was actually gifted to me yesterday. Um, so look, I'll show you the size. It's slightly
There you
slightly
go.
smaller than the
Okay.
regular size deck, you know. Um, I had an event and one of the girls was so impressed with me, she gifted me this deck. I was delighted with myself.
Can you move it more to your left? There. It's
Oh,
because our camera's cropped in. So it,
yeah, I
oh
know.
my God, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love the coloring on that.
it's kind of more muted colors or something.
Yeah, mine are very,
Yeah,
they pop quite a bit. I'm gonna have to look that up because I really, really like that and see if I like some of the
this
other
is
cards.
this is the box. Look, I'm pretty sure it's available on Amazon.
Okay, I will check it out. I'll
Yeah.
see if somebody has a flip through of it. So tell me, what is your general understanding of the upright position of this card?
So there's two things that come to mind when I see the judgment card, right? So in the image itself, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, it is Archangel Gabriel
Mm-hmm.
um, blowing the trumpet and calling someone to their spiritual awakening or enlightenment.
Okay.
Okay. So because this last few years, and you know yourself, these last few years anyway, more and more people are becoming spiritually awake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And realizing that there are things like angels and spirit guides and all the rest of it who are there to help us in life, you know. So I would often see this card in readings if I'm doing a reading for someone and they're only kind of coming into their spiritual side, you know, they're only starting to realize this and starting to have the connection with spirit, you know. um Naked people in tarot, like if you think about it, we're born naked, so when there's naked people in the cards, it tends to symbolize us being reborn. So this is about a rebirth, you know. But also the word judgment, of course, is kind of being called to be judged as well. um and I suppose coming to terms with things that we've done or said in the past that were wrong, and needing to be able to forgive ourselves in order for us to move forward, you know? Because if we don't let go of what's happened and kind of, do you know, we all make mistakes. Like you have to say, look, I'm sorry I made that mistake, or I was mean to that person or whatever. I have to forgive myself, or I'll never be able to continue on and have a proper relationship with that person, for example, or whatever, you know? But that's the kind of two sides of the meaning that I get from this card. But I have something else then from my favorite card, you know?
Yeah. So for me, um, this card is an awakening. It's not only spiritual, it's an awakening. It can be in any part of your life. It could
Yeah.
be with career. It could be with a relationship. It can, of course, be spiritual. It can be within yourself. It could be finding what your life purpose is. It could be realizing that, you know, you're reached a point in your life where you want to have a child or you want to adopt a child, or, you know, it's
Yeah.
whatever. It's this higher calling, this higher internal calling that all of a sudden the word that I really love with this is epiphany. You have this big
Ah,
moment that
yeah.
all of a sudden this realization occurs. And it can happen. It's like another one that I like to think about is somebody who has an addiction problem. Doesn't matter what the addiction is. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it's that moment when that denial kind of goes away, and you can clearly see what this addiction is costing
Yeah.
you. And that, yes, I do have a problem. And then all of a sudden, deciding to make a different decision and take a different path. That kind of, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like this life altering decision. It could also be
Yeah. I know.
something as realizing that, you know what, I want to be a better person. I want to be a nicer person. I want to have better relationships with, you know, people, my coworkers. So I start treating people differently or making nicer
Yeah.
decisions.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it can go anything from the mundane to like life altering.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to judgment, I don't necessarily say this is ever evolving for me. This tarot's always ever evolving in my understanding.
Yeah.
The idea of this judgment, it's really like you had mentioned, looking at, like reflecting on life and seeing the areas of your life that, you know, you could have done better, or
Yeah.
where maybe you made decisions that you don't feel really good about yourself about, and getting to a place where you can, you know, forgive yourself. Like it's this idea of, I like to contrast judgment with justice. Justice,
Absolutely.
justice is external, society. Uh, Judgment is internal. You know, it's
Yes.
the self uh, analyzation of who you are and who you want to become.
Yeah.
Now, you
That's,
go ahead.
I like that. Yeah. No, I like that because it ties in with the other card. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Just saying
so
it.
you started mentioning the naked people and the rebirth. Are there any other symbols in the card that kind of speak to you or that you use in your readings?
No, not really. No. I suppose just the fact that there's an angel in it too. Just to kind of remind us that the angels are always there to kind of guide us and kind of watching us and looking after us, and just to remind us that they are there and to call on them if we are struggling with judgment or with forgiveness or whatever, you know.
Yeah. So some things ever I've paid attention to the symbols and I've looked them up. It wasn't until I had Lisa from Mythical Witchery when she talked about the hermit. And she talked about all these different symbols and what they meant and what they added to the car. I was like, okay. And then Lisa Papez did the same thing with like the dog.
Yeah.
So everybody's giving me little things. So I started paying more attention to the images in the vehicle in the cards. So like with
Yeah.
often it's like coming out of the dark. It's like coming out of this
Ah,
box that we put ourselves in and seeing life like anew, like
yeah.
deciding that I'm going to step out from the life I was living into a life that I want to lead or
Mhm.
live. And then the angel for me really kind of signifies that it's putting the stamp of approval, like, yes, this is the right path you're supposed to be on. It's like that
Yeah.
signal that you were saying, like, please give me a sign that this is the right thing I'm supposed to do. And this angel is that sign letting you know that this is the right thing for you.
I love that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is cool.
And then the
Yeah.
open arms is that, you know, you're open to new experiences, you're open to
Ready.
something
Yeah.
different. You know, you're just going to have an open mind to see where this new path is going to lead you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That is cool.
Now, does this card mean anything in particular in any different types of readings, like career, relationships, or it just will depend on the question, the cards, the people?
Yeah, all of the above, or even I mean, even the energy, like the person that you're reading for, the energy that they're in, it would all kind of affect whatever
Hmm.
meaning I'd be drawn to with them, you know. Or sorry, surrounding cards as well, obviously, you know. Because I don't read reversals because if a card is upside down, it's like my mind goes blank. I just can't visualize anything. So I need to have them upright. But like if I had the judgment card and then like a bad card next to it, I would read it as if it's reversed, but just,
Yeah, I
you
do
know,
the same thing. Um,
yeah,
and for me, the cards don't have to be necessarily what we consider a bad card. I don't think any
yeah,
cards, to be honest,
no,
is a bad card. But I really listen to my energy. I've done a few readings for friends, so I really pay attention to like the energy between us and what I'm getting that will allow me to follow what path this goes. I don't really read like, oh, this is horrible, this is going to happen. My readings tend to be more like, you need to be mindful in this situation, or
yeah,
something's going to come up that you
yeah,
know your decisions are really going to have a really deep and long-lasting impact. So they're more like warning signs
yeah.
that something's approaching. Uh, so for this one, when it comes to the reversal, this is more like um, an awakening has happened, but you're not willing to accept it. You're not
Right.
willing
Yeah,
to move towards that path. So I'll use the one with addiction. Is you come to realize that, oh, I do have an addiction. This is a problem, but I don't want to give it up because it works for me.
yeah,
I don't, and so negative consequences continue to happen, but they're not yet so severe that you're willing to make a change. You
yeah.
know, so it's like ignoring, this light that's come before you to walk towards, and you're like not doing it. It
So
could be
kind of like
severe.
realizing that there is a problem, but still refusing to kind of make a change.
Or yeah, and that's one way. Or, realizing that, this job, you're you're stuck at this job. This job there, you realize that there is going to be no room for improvement. Um,
Yes.
but you're afraid to leave the job because it's a steady income, it's a good income. You like the people you work with, but you hate the fact that for
Yeah.
the rest of your career in that job, you're not gonna, move up. The best you'll do is get a yearly raise.
Yeah.
So those kinds of
Mhm.
things. So
I know. Yeah.
show me your favorite card.
Oof. Wait till you see these. Oh my God.
Okay.
So
Oh, you have more than
I
one?
so there's two
Hmm.
to explain the story, but you just
Okay.
mentioned justice, so I have the justice card as well. Like, um, I'm massively into like ancient Egyptian mythology kind of stuff. So I don't know if you know this deck, Tara Nefertari.
I don't think I do. I think I've seen pictures of it, but I don't know it very well.
Okay, wait till you see these images. Oh my God. So I have
Oh, nice and
the
shiny.
yeah. The gold foiling is like I don't think it's still the same, but I've never smoked, but remember the gold kind of foiling that used to be on the inside of a cigarette box long ago.
Okay.
That's what it reminds me of. But here we have so which one is which? So this one is the justice card and this one is the judgment card.
Okay.
So the story in ancient Egyptian mythology was that when you died you were mummified
Mhm.
and you were brought before a judge and jury. So this is Isis, wife and sister of Osiris, and the mummified body was brought before the judge and jury. And I think, if I remember correctly, there was 41 people in the jury. And you did your usual spiel. I did not lie, I did not steal, I did not beg, I did not borrow, etc., etc. Right? There was a weighing. Where are we? There was a weighing scales. I don't know if you could see the weighing scales there.
Mhm.
On one side of the weighing scales, they put the heart of the dead person, and on the other side, they put a feather. And if the feather was heavier than the heart, then it meant that the person is lying in some way, shape, or form, and that they weren't a good person in life. So they didn't sail off into the afterlife, which they, so desperately believed in,
Hmm.
So that was the end. That was the end of your existence, Whereas if the heart and the feather balanced, then you were a good person and you sailed off into the sunset, into the afterlife, happy out,
Okay.
So that was the story, and it was funny then because you linked the Judgment and Justice card, and they're the two images that show this story in this deck, because I often think of that story with the Judgment card, because if we are always judging ourselves too harshly and, like I said, not allowing ourselves to forgive ourselves for past mistakes and just trying again and starting again, then we're never going to be able to progress in life.
I see the justice card. Can we see the judgment card?
This one is the Judgment card.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is. They're gorgeous images in this deck, and they're
Yeah.
all images from people's tombs and stuff in
So these
ancient
are real
Egypt.
people in this
They're
deck.
real images. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Well, mine comes from the darkness of light. Do you know this
Oh, I
deck?
don't. I don't. No,
But it's beautiful.
I'll look
I
it up.
love it because for me, it feels very masculine. It's very
Okay.
masculine leaning. So I love finding decks like that. But the reason I love this judgment card is how powerful it feels. I love the emotion that comes with it. There's a lot of movement, let me put my glass. Okay, I have to wear my glasses so I can see the image. Um, if you look at the bottom, there are these people that are leaning forward or
Oh
bending
yeah,
down on their hands and knees. But I just love how powerful this is. It's like all of a sudden you have this shift within you. And when these epiphanies happen, they're very dramatic and can be very emotionally jarring shifts. And
yeah,
I'll use a love relationship one, and I'll use the opposite sides. Like all of a sudden having this realization that this person that you've met or have been dating is the person that you're supposed to be with the rest of your life, and you've made that decision to get married. There's that
yeah,
shift that can be quite dramatic. Or it's being in a relationship and all of a sudden having that moment where you're like, this is not for me anymore. I got to get
yeah.
out. And how devastating that could feel. Because that hope that things could get better is gone. And so now it's about
Mm,
how do I get out? And so
yeah,
this card really, really gives me that emotion like no other card.
yeah.
And I don't
Very
know if you do
true.
this. I don't always know what my favorite card is, and so like the devil card, I know like the back of my hand, which is my favorite one. I can just go to the deck. This one, I had to look at several decks to go, which is my favorite one because I like
Okay.
several. And finally, I saw that. I said, oh yeah, that's this one because I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
you got to check. There's a lot of walkthroughs on the darkness of light. So
Okay.
for
I'll
those
look it up.
it's and I love the colorations and the images. It's just stunning.
Cool.
Well, Jackie, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate
No
it.
problem. You're very welcome.
Yeah, and so we will do something in the future because I know you've invited me
Yes.
to come on. So I haven't forgotten. It's just the last 2, 3 months have been crazy and moving.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody,
Delighted to have you on my channel.
okay, thanks. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. This was my Tarot One card study. I am the Fool's Apprentice, and y'all have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.
Bye.